Apologies. Right, good evening, councillors and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Highways and General Purposes meeting. My name is Gary West. I'm Vice Chairman of the Highways Committee. We're chairing it tonight because our Chairman is away on holiday. A couple of bits and pieces we need to go through first before we get to the public participation, so just bear with us. First item on the agenda is apologies. I think we have apologies from Ian Brown, Councillor Brown, Councillor Lamb-Smith and Councillor Stallard. Item 2 is declaration of interest. Arising from this agenda, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding these items, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Does anyone have any interest that we should declare?
I may have an interest to declare on item 30.
I don't know, Kevin, you can put some there.
May not.
Deputy Twin, I don't think so.
Well, you're our rep, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably no interest on that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
Lovely.
No, all right, thank you, anyhow. Yep. Item 3 is minutes of the previous meeting. So if received and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the Highways and General Purpose meeting held on the 12th of February 2025, these have been previously circulated. Anyone got any issues? Are you all happy for me to sign them?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Copy for you.
Item 4 is the Highways and General Purpose Committee project report, and this is to receive a report and view the project report from the committee clerk. So if anything from there particular that we need to look at tonight that's not on the agenda or anything on there?
No, I think.
So basically we've got the Kidmore public toilets, that's on hold at the moment, the dog bins, there's an issue there. Forest Road speeding measures, that's still ongoing, but we're still waiting for highways, highways to come back on that one. Auto speed watch device, there's actually an action there for me to meet their groundsman to discuss the place outside Sunset, whether it's safe to erect it and put it there, so I need to do that one. Speed indicators agreement signed, licences is on hold, finial post is ongoing, that's also on the agenda. Defibrillator, excuse me, defibrillator at Wells End's ongoing, and it's on the agenda like that, aren't we? Social media, something keeps on going also. Flower beds, planted, sponsorship, ongoing. Glass recycling bins are ongoing. New bench at KGV play area, again ongoing. Dual purpose bin at Greenways, still ongoing. Matter for the next agenda as part of this, isn't it? Bus shelter seating, I think that's on the agenda as well now, yeah. But nothing particular on that one, unless anyone has anything they want to add to it, no? Okay, thank you very much. Item 5 is the public participation. The meeting will recess for no more than 15 minutes to allow members of the public to address the meeting. If anyone does want to address the meeting, could you please state your name for the clerk? So, does anyone wish to say anything?
Can I seek clarification? We're here for the last item on the agenda, so this is as a confidential report. Does that mean you want me to speak to this now, or do you want me to speak to it when you get to it?
If you need to speak to it, you need to speak to it now, because at the confidential report, the public are excluded from the part of the meeting.
Can I ask why the public are being excluded? I mean, we've been asked to come here in order to debate my letter of the 4th of March, which I hope everybody's seen and read.
Yes.
Yeah. So why are you excluding the public? I mean, that includes us that are here to talk about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going to take this watch my vice chairman. If it's in the confidential, why is that excluded from that? It's generally because it's detrimental, or could be detrimental to personal ongoing investigation.
Yeah. The norm would be to be addressed now for the councillors to ask questions now, and then in the confidential section we would consider and make decisions.
Yeah.
So
Can I ask you to clarify why is it being made confidential when this is about the name of the plan? The whole point of my letter is to raise issues, and we've been told to come here today to talk about it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I don't know. It's been put into the confidential part of the report. I'm standing in for to
You
know.
have an obligation to identify the reason as to why it's confidential. I'm asking you to tell me that now, because if you're not going to let me be present, and I don't want to sit here for the next couple of hours waiting to find out the reason why you're excluding it. So can you tell us now why you're excluding it?
Do we know why we put it?
Is it to discuss the responses that Paul has done?
Sorry?
It's to discuss the responses, isn't it, that Paul has done to the letter, the
well,
confidential part.
it's mainly because we don't normally discuss freedom of information requests in public, because they are confidential matters.
Well, that's only half of what I've asked for. The other half relates to a request for a site inspection so that we can discuss with you the problems that we have in Anmore, which are being ignored by absolutely everybody. We're asking you to come out to a site inspection, and I was told by the clerk to come here today to discuss that. The freedom of information, I've set out what we want. I don't need to hear your discussions about whether you are or aren't, but I would like to address you in relation to the side meeting and the reasons for it, and ask you to come out and meet us.
We're happy to have that discussion with you now, to go through it with you, but the report has been put into the confidential report part of the agenda, and unfortunately we can't discuss that report and our responses at the moment with yourself. But we're happy to sit here and listen to sort of take any concerns on now.
So just so I can be clear, because I'm going to take a minute of what's said at this meeting for our own benefit. So you're saying the reason it's confidential and the public is excluded is because we've asked for a freedom of information request, which you're going to discuss.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in relation to this item, I've written a very long letter. Apologies for the length. The reason we've written to you is because we want you to be absolutely clear on all of the issues that there are in relation to option 2 and in relation to flooding in Anmore and in relation to the sewage contamination, which will get worse if option 2 goes ahead, which is looking like it is going to go ahead. Now, if you are going to proceed with option 2, then you're going to have to deal with these issues when you deal with the neighbourhood plan. And in order for you to properly understand those issues, we're asking for you to attend a site meeting so we can actually show you exactly what all these issues are, so that you can fully understand all of the issues which you are going to have to address as part of this process. Now, one thing I would like to say, and this is part of the public meeting, and I would ask this to be limited. I asked in the emails with the parish clerk, because of the serious nature of all these issues, that my letter be sent to all members of the parish council, and because it relates to the development of the neighbourhood plan, I also asked it to be sent to all members of the steering group. We got an absolute flat refusal from the clerk to do so, and she was only prepared to send my letter to the people on this committee. I want to express my concern about that, and I want to ask again, these issues are serious. It needs to be considered by the whole parish council, and it also needs to be considered by everybody on the steering committee. I know we've got Councillor Angioli, who's runs the steering group, so I would ask him to confirm at some stage that it will be seen by everybody on the steering committee. I don't expect an answer now, but I would like a formal response, please, to that. So we know whether or not you are continuing to refuse to do what is a relatively simple request that needs to be done, because everybody needs to fully understand these issues, and at the moment these issues are being constantly ignored.
Okay. We've got to know that, and we'll be in the minutes, and we can probably discuss part of that in the confidential report. Why it wouldn't be issued to the whole board.
So if the last item is going to relate to the freedom of information request, can I ask you to give me an indication as to whether you are prepared to send someone out to meet us so that we can seek your support in trying to solve these issues, but also to make sure you understand it from the plan?
As far as the highways and general purposes meeting, then yes, I'm happy to attend the meeting with another councillor to listen to your address, not to make any decisions or to comment on it, but just really to listen to it. Councillor Angelini.
Well, it was put on the agenda tonight for the committee to discuss whether councillors will I thought to discuss the letter from from Mr. Hayward and his request.
So we're still happy to attend.
Personally, yes. Yeah, it will need to take two councillors, so I will need to have another councillor with you, and I will reach out again. I'll come, I will listen, we'll take notes, but I will not make any promises or comments on that, obviously, because I can't do that.
We just want you to come and listen.
More than happy to.
Thank you.
But I do need a second councillor, so we will. I will ask the clerk to rearrange a day.
Thank you.
I agree. I'm sorry, I work, so I need to find something that's convenient for myself, but I will find some time.
Fit in with your time.
Yeah, I will find some
Thank
time.
you
So
very much indeed. That's much appreciated.
yeah, that's not a problem at all. Is there anything else?
No, so if I understand it correctly, we can't listen to your discussions in relation to...
Unfortunately not, sorry. No, it's under that part, so no, sorry. You're more than welcome to stay, but you're also more than welcome to go.
Well, we've come to discuss the point that you've put into the confidential part, so we can't be here for that. So
No.
we've raised the request.
And you will get an answer back on your letter, obviously, but that's part of that discussion tonight is a response, so you will get a response back on it in time, yeah.
So can we just clarify, the reason that you're putting that into the confidential clause, which you're invoking, is because you want to agree the response related to the freedom of information request?
Yes, basically, yeah.
So I'm still not really clear how not discussing that in public is an issue for you.
And I'm apologising, I don't really know, I'm just taking counsel from
Because
Vice
there's
Chairman.
criteria that fit into that confidentiality clause, and I'm not convinced that discussing whether or not freedom of information request can be responded to fits any of those criteria. So it doesn't name names, it doesn't name people, it doesn't discuss legal matters. There are a list of criteria, and it doesn't really tick any of those boxes.
No, okay. And again, I apologise, I don't really know, I can check with the clerk, the clerk of the council. Sorry, Councillor Andrew.
Well, basically, some of the requests include information regarding documents and emails that transpired back in 2014 or since. Those need to be found and redacted, and the discussion therefore needs to be held on what aspects we could do would do so. I'm struggling slightly, as you can gather, but yeah, I mean, we have a possible set of answers in front of us which we would need to discuss.
Of course,
Yeah,
the
but,
request is really to just fulfil either you will or will not fulfil a freedom of information request. That's really the request. And that's really what we need to discuss at this particular moment. Is this something that we're prepared to entertain or not?
You put, whichever it was, view it was, put in the freedom of information request, we have to answer it. That's well, I guess it's the law. You have put in a freedom of information request. We have to answer it. We have to decide what information to provide and what to and under certain circumstances, things can be redacted.
Of course. Yeah.
But we have no choice but to respond to your freedom of information request.
Councillor Clay.
Chair, I'd be happy to be the second councillor from this committee to attend that outside meeting with you. And I think it's worth noting that it might be worth respecting the gentleman's request that we bring our findings back to a full council meeting rather than on this committee. I think it might be worth.
I would, yeah, okay, I've no share, but I would take counsel from the clerk on whether we should do that. I don't know why it hasn't been, and I agree personally that it should be done to the whole council, but I will find out why. And we'll get that regarding response.
It's basically because it's the remit of highways and general purposes. If highways and general purposes wish to pass it on to full council for consideration of full council, that would be to be a resolution of this committee.
Okay, then I propose that we do pass this on to full council for resolution.
I think that's wider mindset then, haven't we?
So we'll show of hands on that. All in
Yes.
favour?
I will point out that I was one of the many people who walked around the area looking at the problems last time. Well remember the discussions we had then.
Well, I would welcome you at that meeting if we can make it.
Yeah. But anyway, we have at least two councillors who will go.
Okay, so the point that we will pass your letter on to full council, so it will be seen by the full council,
And the steering group?
and we will arrange the meeting to meet you out on site. And let's,
The walk around that Councillor Andrew earlier referred to was actually invoked on in 2015, I believe.
Okay.
So we're kind of in a repeat situation here that the development has been proposed for the extension of the Carpenter's Field development, which still poses the same risk as the Carpenter's Field development, which has increased the flood problems in Amber. And the reason for raising this with you is because we don't want that risk to get worse.
Okay.
And there have been developments, there are minor developments taking place associated with the Amber system, flood area system. A few houses here, a few houses there. We've had the Baptist Church development. There's now another 4 houses behind the Baptist Church. There's another minor infill here and there. All of those have contributed bit by bit by bit by bit. And now to add on top of that, option 2 as a proposed development site poses a significant risk. So hence the reason for raising it. May I raise one more question?
yes, sorry, if you quickly, we do have one other gentleman, and I'm only allowed 15 minutes to talk, so please.
Don't let me hog it.
No, go on. Well, we're limited to 15 minutes, so I don't want to cut you short, but so please, get one more question, I'm happy with that.
How many minutes have you got left?
Sorry?
How many have you got left?
About another 5. Yeah.
So just one last question. Can I ask why, if we raised the question regarding planning, it's ended up in the highways and general purpose?
Because I think it's been picked up under the flooding issues, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, which falls under highways in general.
General
I
purpose.
sort of queried it myself because I think it should have sat under planning. But yeah, and it may well do eventually, but at the moment it sits with us. And
Because it's a planning related question and a flood risk issue. It is definitely a planning related question.
that will probably be one of the things that's decided at full council that gets moved over to that. But
And just one very last point. Can I just ask you, please, you will formally recall the reason you're required to do for why you are making that last item confidentiality, and one of the reasons being one in the act, so that you actually record so we can see formally why you've done it.
yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I'm not wishing to shut it short, but we've got another gentleman here to speak. So
If I
yes,
may just answer that last point, it's come to highways and general purposes because the complaint basically, or the thing, is about the current situation, which is not a planning matter.
It's about the neighbourhood plan. That was made very clear in the letter.
Well, the neighbourhood plan has no remit regarding drainage, sewage, or anything else other than to do as we did last time and contact the, and we have done so, contact the, in this case, Drainage Authority for an opinion, looking for an opinion on the new site. one of the questions that came up in some of the point was, why did the parish council say in 2014, Denmead saying that the Amor sewage system would be upgraded?
No, it was the whole sewage system. Actually.
Well, okay, but
It was
you had
it was the whole sewage system.
basically that was what the Southern Water said when the steering committee's vice chairman contacted them.
And no such activity.
Well, you had in the letter, whichever review it was, you had the letter back from Southern Water recently. There's a small paragraph on page 2 which explains why. Because when they reassessed it, they decided they didn't need an upgrade. And that was a surprise just to the steering group, particularly the vice chairman thereof, who'd done the talking with Southern Water, who and what was put in Denmead Seat was in all good faith, because that's what we've been told. And when the planning application for Carpenter's Field came in, there was no sign of any requirement to do any upgrade, and Southern Water had come back to Winchester and said, no, there's no problem.
Except in their financial planning and other risk activities they've identified now, there is a problem.
Sorry, I'm going to cut this short. Sorry,
Yes.
we're running out of time. We have one other.
Yeah.
Apologies.
So, yeah.
So, to speak. You need to say your name for the clerk.
John Byrne, I'm the secretary of the I'm here tonight on behalf of the Denmead Twinning Association. You've got an item on your agenda tonight, thinking about a permanent fixture for publicity for us to raise the profile of it. So I'll cut to the quick with various things. I expect most of you, if you don't know, ought to know that our twinning arrangement with Saint Georges de Bargeau has existed for over 30 years. The picture up on the wall there, 1993, calling it at that time, which keeps it in your mind. And of course, it's an arrangement which has been set up with the backing of the council here, and hence there's been a representative regularly of the council as a member of the Twinning Committee at the moment, Councillor Clay, who I think also has got some posters may circulate to you in a moment. We alternate years, long weekends of visits from one country to the other, from one team to the other. It can be 30 or 40 people. It costs us about £4,000 normally to host the long weekend with all the arrangements and entertainments and so on happening. That is not why we're here tonight. We're here because we want to raise the profile of the Twinning Association in Denmead, not because we're asking for money. We actually think the enriching of relationships and building awareness of the neighbouring country and community is an important thing for those of us living in Denmead to have a wider awareness, and something which of course doesn't bring much pressure upon the council. But at this particular point we wonder whether you could help us, as being linked obviously and behind it all, to increase local awareness in Denmead. Like every organisation, we had to scale back what we did during COVID, but now by personal recommendation on social media and visible posters and ads, we're trying to raise it again because we believe in it, not just because we want to keep producing money or people for it. We're hoping we might find a larger poster site, and this thought came about as I frequently walk across the green in the centre of Denmead and see that half of the big notice board on the green is vacant and has been vacant ever since it was erected, and so there doesn't seem to be any pressing use for it. And so that's where we began to think that that could perhaps be a site, because of course the War Memorial is there, and because of course it's a place that people can see something prominently. That's the sort of poster that we have in mind that might be put there, or perhaps somewhere else if that is decided to be an institutional site. But in a sort of a size that can make a splash, can be seen to distance, which isn't related to one particular event, but commends the worthwhileness of training to people locally. Hence it says that boldly at the top, Denmead has a twin village in France. You know, that's fact. and it's in the aim to draw people in who don't know about it, but who are Denmeadians, and so on. He goes on to talk about weekends, visits, family, friendship, fun, all the rest. Hopefully, we would, if given permission, have a colourful, tasteful, informative, durable, laminated notice so that it wouldn't look rotty and weather-beaten, whether or not it's in a sealed board, and we'd be grateful for other suggestions. That's one that I'd like to put before you on behalf of the Training Association. Using that vacant space on the existing board on the green would be very timely and helpful to the Training Association as we begin to gain traction again after COVID, and to have the widest possible membership. It's not meant to just be a membership of a few people who are running the organisation. It's meant to be something for Denmead to draw them in, to enrich relationships and to strengthen links. And every event that's happening in the world today tells us that countries ought to strengthen links. Now, little old Denmead can't do it for the whole of the UK, but we can do it for another place, and it's surprising how far the relationships and the pleasure and the positivity extends. Not least in the welcome that we get, a royal welcome when we go over there, and they're being exceedingly generous to their English friends.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, I'm happy to suggest that if members are minded, we bring item 13 forward now so we can discuss it. That way, if you wish, you could stay for the rest of the meeting or leave. So we're happy to bring item 13 forward. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So item 13 is, like you said, the Denmead Twin Association is looking at ways to promote awareness of the association. The suggestion has been to find a permanent fixture where they can display notices, discuss and determine action. Anyone got any comments? Councillor Vickers.
I think you spoke really eloquently. I think it's a really good idea. I think if there's no other meaningful purpose that we have currently for the notice boards, I don't see there should be an objection to put similar information and hoping people take up and find on Facebook and do all the things that would help your association to thrive and continue the links.
Councillor Andrew.
It actually, well, I'm aware that it's been empty for a while. It's actually supposed to have the information about the creation of the new war memorial. That it kind of went into abeyance and with COVID, and I think we keep forgetting about it. But anyway,
Can that space be shared?
I wouldn't like to say either way. Can't remember offhand how large that space is. I know one half has the plaque that used to be on the green, out in the open, recording. I'm not sure which of the King Georges it was, visited Denmead, but that's still there. But anyway, that's just so that is what's supposed to have been put in there.
Yeah, I think this is something we definitely need to get on board with, show our support to the association, continue fostering communities abroad, but we need to bring that home and help them promote their awareness within the village. At the moment, we've only got a couple of signs in and out of the village, come in and out, apart from here. So I think if we could possibly put something in the village as a permanent fixture, we do have the notice boards, yes, where we could put laminate posters up, but there's the likelihood that they could be removed, covered up, etc. So I think if we could find a permanent fixture somewhere for the Training Association to use specifically from South Village Centre, most definitely will help promote their awareness. Also, I think it might be a good idea to, if the Training Association is happy to, is to do an article and perhaps we can regularly put that in the scene, and that gets delivered to, as you know, the scene to resident stores, so that could be a way of reaching new audiences. I think that's definitely something we need to support them with.
And we've also got the social media part of each of these meetings that we can adapt to that as well.
On the website,
so are we sort of proposing that we use the Denmead scene for articles, the social media scene, we investigate whether we can use our existing notices board, or if there is a place where we can allow you to erect a board? That I'm not sure will happen because of the way we work, but we can look into it and come back with an answer on that one. So that would be my proposal.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Sorry. A further point is that I can't remember the exact date, but the deadline for the next MEC is approaching. So a small article sent through to the parish clerk would be
They have been sent before, non-provision, then we've seen, put another one in there.
yeah. It's can't guarantee it'll get in, but there is a limited space that the editor has to put stuff in.
Oh, what about it, perhaps time earlier, would have been, that we're not seeking, we're seeking the term or right to put things on the green, but even if it was a splash for 12 months, then things might need writing out and changing, but it would be there before it becomes a part of the furniture.
Okay.
The thing you don't bother to look at because you know what it says before you get there.
I appreciate that, and we will look into that, yes.
That would be a great encouragement start.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. You're all more than welcome to stay. You're all more than welcome to stay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, no problem.
Good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Evening.
Somebody points out that it's empty. You think,
Pardon?
when somebody points out that half the board is empty, you keep thinking, yeah, that's supposed to have a hat in it.
It is quite broad though.
We'll look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving swiftly on. Item 6 is the bus shower seating. The bus shower seating has been ordered, fitted, and is expected in around mid-April, as to note. Item 7, damage to the bus shelter. Zurich Insurance have paid our insurance claim. The new bus shelter has been ordered and is expected around mid-April. Again, that is to note. We did have an email. I've lost it. Basically saying that the other parties failed to refund our overlay, so they're asking our permission to take them to start legal promotions again. So that's not the main business, to advise everyone. Forest Road speeding measures. Councillor Stallard has advised the Hampshire County Council are undertaking final safety checks before going to tender. Again, that is to note.
Can we just note that it's county council Stallard as opposed to parish council Stallard?
Yeah, I was going to say, thank you, Anna.
Even I looked up and said,
It's
County Council
just
Stallard.
so the village doesn't get mixed up because it's a county measure. So,
Item 9 is the defibrillator at Wales End. Grant application submitted to the British Heart Foundation was unsuccessful. Department of Health and Social Care have closed their scheme. County Council have contacted London Hearts and information has been received detailed on their scheme. There is no budget for a new defibrillator in 25-26 financial year. We'll discuss and determine action.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed to read this actually, because I think that end of the village would really benefit from a defibrillator, and I just wondered, although we haven't budgeted it for this year, is there any scope for any wiggle room in that? Because I think that end of the village is really badly served.
Councillor Clay?
yeah, I agree. I mean, I could sit here all night and go through percentages, figures, etc., of how important these devices are and how crucial they are to saving your life in such a short term before the emergency services can arrive. Is it worth looking at the costings to see what prices there are out there and see if we can find availability to at least squeeze some kind of funds towards or contributing towards a defibrillator?
We can ask the clerk to go back to the financial officer and see if we've got any funds,
Yeah, I'm
any
happy with that.
outstanding.
There is some funding
Yeah, I
available
think
from London.
we should
It's just
ask
whether we, probably want to-
Liz,
Sorry.
I think we should ask Liz to get some costings of what those are and discuss with the financial officer whether there is any scope for.
It would also be a good initiative for us showing our support and putting our
Yeah.
funds
Well,
into
we
place.
have to provide them the villages.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this grant they closed. And
Yeah.
we were expecting that to come
It
through.
doesn't matter where you live, you know.
We paid for once
We've done it
previously.
before,
Yeah, the one here and the one in the village centre. But, that was a while back. But we were hoping to get a grant for this particular one, so we could put it in the budget.
So that's excellent for Liz to go back to the RFO, see what we've got the budget and find out and break it down. Thank you. Item 10 is service level agreement. The service level agreement for Currans and Bentley for 2025 have been reviewed. Commencement date to be confirmed before issue. Discuss and determine actions. I've looked at made my comments last time. The comments have been updated to what I want, so I am happy with them. So unless there's anyone else has got any comments on,
I was going to say that if you were happy, then I would be happy because you're the one who knows how these things work
I was
better
going
than
to
I.
say exactly the same. I would be completely led by you.
okay, so I propose we accept
Yeah, I'll
them
see.
as they are ready for issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Item 11 is the flower bed sponsorship. Plaques have been sourced for unsponsored planting, stating supplied by Denby Parish Council. That's just to note. Item 12, committee terms of reference to review. Has anyone had a chance to look at them? And if so, do we have any comments on it? Councillor Andrew?
As far as I know, I can see these haven't changed and there's no proposed changes. So I haven't seen any need to make any changes. So unless anybody else has got some, I propose that we agree that they're still valid.
Show of hands. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 13 we've obviously covered, so on item 14, it's a Safer Neighbourhood panel. The next meeting for the Safer Neighbourhood panel, will take place at 7:30 on Tuesday the 24th, or Thursday even, the 24th of April 2025 at Denmead Community Centre, and that is to note. Item 15, it's a burial ground. 15.1, applications, to note the list of applicants since the last committee meeting. And item 15.2 is we're unable to trace who the original request for the working party came from, so to discuss and determine action. Thoughts? Councillor Vick?
I think I raised this before, and I think if that person hasn't been able to be traced, then you just have to sort of close the door on it. Because I think we decided before that putting it out on social media wasn't appropriate. If we've been unable to trace that person, then I guess there's nothing else that we can do.
Any further comments? Is that your proposal that we close this item?
Yeah, for me.
Seconded? Yeah. Councillor Clank?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's unanimous. Thank you very much. 16, social media. To discuss and determine action on what content could be added to the Parish Council social media channels. I think I suggested that we use the... I'll tell you what, the defibrillator.
I think the defibrillator should go on to say that there is no funding, but we're trying to, show see if there's some money in the pot to promote that. I think it would be good with social media.
Do you think we'd not be better to make sure that we got the funds first
Oh, yeah.
and then say it's on?
Yeah,
Jump the gun.
that was taken as
Yeah.
cart before the horse. Yeah.
So,
Once
We're
that,
looking into it.
once that process has been done, then we can
so
pat ourselves on the back.
that would probably be in the next meeting. We'll
Yeah.
set one on from there before we've got that. I think we ought to
Definitely.
put the Denby 20 on it, if that's okay.
Good splash.
Can you supply a bit of information on when the next get together or meeting, whatever you want to call?
A week Monday. I think it's a week Monday we've done.
Would they get on in time for?
When's the deadline, sorry, for the...
For Demi scene, not sure of that.
No, I'm talking about social media. We're putting it on social media.
Could ticks out. Yeah.
Okay, because I think we need to put the date on it. It's a bit pointless saying we're having that, but
Yeah, takes 30 seconds to put something on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
is that
Yeah, so I think... Let me check.
Did we determine that it's going on the parish council website as well? Is it
Yeah, the
going
social,
there?
our social media, what we
Yeah.
put out on social media.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just suggesting that rather than just put that, we need to put the next date
Yeah,
of the
no,
meeting so
that's
people
fine.
are aware of
Sorry, I
it.
just wanted
Our next
to-
meeting with them is the 31st of this month.
And the public are invited to the meetings, are they? Okay.
I was going to mention perhaps it might be worth putting our flower bed sponsorships online. So although they're around, it might grab someone's attention to.
We already have.
Oh, that's okay. No one's biting.
Well, a couple of inquiries.
Have you got anything else?
Sorry,
Please,
can I, social media, were we going to put anything on about the defibrillator or wait until we've
Wait
progressed
till
it?
we progress and make sure we've got the funding.
Yeah.
We don't want to have people we got it and then we don't get the funding for it.
Okay.
I'm sure we will, but
Sure, yeah, I just assumed so that way.
Yeah.
My mind's there.
okay. Thank you very much. So item 17 then is matters for the next agenda. That's to receive any matters for the next agenda. Obviously, you can email the clerk prior to the meeting as well. Councillor Anstrelli.
Well, I'm putting two and two together, but I mean, we're not in a position to make any decision on the matter, but I'm just wondering whether on the next agenda we have an item suggesting that the parish gives allows the Twinning Association a plaque on one of the
I was going to
Flower
say that.
beds.
I was going to say
one of the
that.
flower beds to advertise the to Demi Swinning, not just in Amber, but basically one of the sponsorship plaques. But that would have a financial implication, and obviously it would need to be discussed.
Are you saying that we sponsor that?
Well, I'm suggesting we put that down as a possibility for the next agenda.
Happy for that?
And could I just ask for the next agenda an update on the little bridge that we hope to construct in Goodmansfield across the Lea?
That's amenities.
Oh, is that amenities
Yeah.
committee?
So
Can I put that forward for the amenities committee?
I think you
Am I
need to.
allowed do that?
I think you need. Are you happy to put that forward for this for us, or do you need to?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know whether those things go on with the committee. Thank you.
it's okay. That's one of our amenities.
Okay.
It's not on a highway.
Not a general purpose.
No, it's not on a highway.
Bridging Goodmansfield, yeah.
Is there anything else then?
But you,
Thank you.
No. Okay. Right. Item 18 is a confidential report.
I shall move.
Thank you very much. I'll let you finish that. Yeah. Right.
This is stopping recording.